Welcome to your Burnley match review. And after an opening day yesterday, a miserable day all round, and the 3-0 down back to town applies here. Here we go then. At the start of play, I think we're a little bit hopeful after some decent displays in pre-season and unbeaten. You know, we've had a couple of decent additions in Adams and Gineppo joining the team and Danny Ings signing permanently. And we thought after a quick start, Adams almost opening his account after about 2 minutes, tried to apply his trend that he went through in pre-season. But unfortunately, boys and girls, that's as good as it got. Saints once again struggled up in Burnley against the conditions mostly, and all 3 goals, it has to be said, came about from a trio of comedy of defensive errors. Number 1, Vestergaard then most certainly at fault for the first. The tallest man on the pitch, the tallest man in the Premier League, misjudges the flight of the ball and allows Barnes clean on goal. Number 2, a hopeful ball from deep once again. Barnes once again allowed in, unmarked, unchallenged between the 2 defenders, Vestergaard and Bertrand. No one taking responsibility for the ball. And number 3, to complete the trilogy, Bertrand misjudges the ball for his 50-50 with Gudmonssson. He allows him to go in, eventually curls it across gun, and it's 3-0 down back to town. The worst possible start to the season. I think the fans are probably just about dried out, absolutely saturated from head to toe yesterday. And Ralph admitted that we lacked leaders on the pitch. And this has obviously not helped the fact that Højbjerg was taken ill just before the game and he could only come on as a sub. And if we want to address some of the other frailties then on the pitch yesterday, I think Ings looked ineffectual out wide, and Adams had more return in that position in pre-season, albeit against lesser teams. So certainly one of those to work on the training field. Play Adams out wide, put Danny Ings centrally. He has more effect in that position. And as I mentioned earlier, Saints frail to long balls against Burnley, effectively taking and removing Romeo Ward-Prowse out of the game, becoming passengers. Ralph admitted this in his press interview or his post-match interview with the club after the game. We struggled against the long balls, and that's something that we need to work on in training going forward. Bottom line is, though, I think it's fair to say, and it's official, Burnley are our bogey team. It's the last sort of 6 fixtures, we're unable to beat them. So hopefully when they return back to St Mary's later on in the season, we can get one over them, finally, hopefully. A lot to work to do then against Liverpool, and it goes about saying they will pose a strong test. Now, Kevin Danso signed on deadline day. He will be introduced to training on Monday, but I think that might be a lot to ask them to throw him in at the deep end against Liverpool on his debut. But who knows what happens? Only, of course, Ralph will know. I think the only positive to take at this stage is that there are 37 games left to play, so plenty of time, hopefully, to eradicate those errors. Anyway, there you have it then. How did you see the game? Have you seen the highlights or the full match yesterday? How many points do you think Saints will get in the first 4 games of this season? Thanks for watching. Let me know your comments in below.